Atkins Ranch is a supply cooperative formed by a group of farmers mainly based on the east coast of the North Island. They sell lamb to Whole Foods markets in the United States. Whole Foods is a provider of high-quality natural and organic produce backed by food safety and quality assurance programs.
Atkins Ranch is something that was founded way back in 1989 from a couple of farmers who were really disillusioned with the lamb prices that they were receiving and wanted to go to the marketplace direct. And that philosophy still stands today, whereby we're basically a marketing company. So we're taking a farmer, producer group farm lamb and taking it into the marketplace direct to the retailer. Our market's all in the US. We are in-market marketers. We've also got a small processing arm to that facility that we have up in San Francisco. And that allows us to take product into the marketplace and service our retailers as and when they want product. So Whole Foods, for example, can ring us up today and we'll have product in their store within 3 days, probably a couple of days, right across US. When we first started in there, they had 3 stores. Today they've got about 450 across US. They've grown exponentially and we've thankfully grown with them. Their point of difference is that they are a natural and organic retailer or supermarket. Whole Foods are really good about telling the story, and that's what we want to do. We want to tell the story. They see that as the conduit to selling their products and brands. They want to have the story in behind it, and that's where the connection then comes back to the farmer. They'll show that within their stores, and as we move into social media and all those connections, we're helping them and they're helping us by having that connection back to the origin of that product and seeing, exactly this, what we've got out here. This is New Zealand. We take it for granted, but for them this is quite different, and it adds to that provenance, that story of origin, and we just want to make that stronger and stronger. We're shareholder owned. Craig Hickson is the majority shareholder with 51%. And then it's the Atkins and Guscott families are major shareholders. And then it's a group of farmers called Heavy Lambs Limited that was set up right in the inception. We've got about 140 shareholders, mainly in the North Island, and there's about 14 or 15 shareholders in the South Island.
Atkins Ranch in New Zealand has a key role. We're in constant contact with Atkins Ranch in the US, where we align what they need from a sales point of view and we match it with what we can get from a demand point of view. And that's key. We only ever try to procure what is demanded out there in the marketplace, and that's been the key to our success over the past couple of years. We ask farmers to make a commitment. That's an annual commitment for lambs. Give us an indication of when they're going to supply their lambs to us. That helps us match, pull together our marketing plan. But it also gives the farmer surety that they can process their lambs at key parts of the season, in particular peak season when space is particularly tight. The farmer gets rewarded for his commitment. So best way to describe it is if the farmer meets his commitment, he gets paid a bonus. If he doesn't meet his commitment, he is not penalised. The 2015 season, the premium that was obtained for suppliers was about $5.50 extra on top of a competitive schedule per lamb. And this season, the 2016 season, it's looking at being about $7.50 to $8 a head. That's a significant market premium on a 20 kg lamb. We have some key criteria to supply Atkins Ranch. We target a heavier weighted carcass. We're targeting the American market, so our program is designed around that. Our perfect lamb is 20 to 24 kgs carcass weight. And we allow the farmers to go 2 kgs either side of that to give them a bit of a buffer. The key considerations that our customers in the US are looking for is some assurance around animal welfare first and foremost, and that's why we've voluntarily rolled out the GAP program. The GAP program being the Global Animal Partnership. The lambs are free range, they have access to pasture year round, and there's no grain inputs or grain fed lambs throughout the chain. There's some key points. To qualify for the program, lambs must be GAP certified from birth. That includes if you buy store lambs in from another farm, the farm needs to be GAP certified. Lambs need to be antibiotic free. They need to be free from growth hormones, free from GMOs, and it's a higher level of animal welfare standard, it's probably best to describe. It's a slight stretch. We believe the stretch is worth it because the farm is rewarded through the extra money they make through the pool. So how's it been going through the process?
Oh, look, it was really easy. In reality, what's actually asked for in this is actually pretty much what we've been doing anyway. It's just, we started supplying progressive meats many years ago, and the reasoning behind that was that we tried to get out of the cycle of the processing companies dictating constantly to the schedules, and we felt that we could perhaps offer a little bit more and do a bit more, which might give us an edge. So that got me interested, and then things progressed. Really, we went through that process for a number of years, and then we started through different lines of breeding, doing things a bit differently to be able to commit heavier lambs, which then drew us eventually to lean meats, and obviously now through to Atkins Ranch. To be a part of the shareholder program, you need to buy shares, and while that was perhaps slightly onerous at the time, in a very short period of time we've actually well and truly repaid that. So this year the way it's worked is that we've actually ended up with a dividend on our shares over and above the owner's account, which lifts the value of our lambs considerably higher than perhaps I would get if I was just going through a standard processing company. We commit numbers, and that you need to get right. We also commit to having a lamb of a certain weight at a certain time, but there is a lot of flexibility in the program. We got pretty close to 20.3k last season for average weight, but both the Texel Cross and the Romney both do it. One's just slightly slower than the other.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.